Hey everyone, what you see here is a Gretsch 6155 amplifier, and as you can see, it's not in the best shape. So I just picked this up in Tokyo, very reasonable price, and I was told when I purchased it that it was apparently out in the rain and just got soaked. So I love a challenge and said, why not? You can see the back panel obviously is pretty much destroyed. But that's okay, because we're gonna fix this. So let's show you guys the inside here. Ooh, so this one's a heavy amp. So it looks like this is a 1962 amplifier. I found that out by looking at the date code here on this Jensen C10R. It also says C7247. So as you guys can see here, yeah, the capacitors, I'm not sure about these two right here. This one looks okay. I'll need to test all of this later. But for the most part, aside from those capacitors, what else looks concerning here? Looks like some non-original resistors here, so maybe this amp was worked on in the past. Okay guys, so I have the power cable plugged in right now. So in Japan we have the two prong wall outlets, and there's an extra screw for the ground signal, so I have that plugged in right here and found a ground spot on the amp. So got my silver burst here, and I'm going to go ahead and do a quick test here to see what it sounds like. And beforehand I checked the internal components, and despite how they visually look, for the most part everything appeared okay. I was getting readings on most of the components, so let's see what we get. Okay, so as you can see, it is not working, so I'll need to do further diagnosis of the issue. And yeah, I'm going to start with the tubes first, and then probably figure out which capacitors are being used here, just because even though I was getting a reading, I'm not so sure about those. Other than that, yeah, we'll look into this. Okay, so I just tested out the amp, and I was receiving no output, and it was very raspy. So what I wanted to do first was look at the tubes, and luckily, as I'll show you here in a second, I'm going to turn this on. So this is the 5Y3 GT that was in there, and boom, it's kind of going crazy, and it's super hot. So just the fact I was getting a score here on this tube tester greater than 100, I was thinking I lucked out there, but you know, just the fact that this thing is just piping hot right now, something's wrong. And luckily, I just pulled out one of my old amps, Found a Japanese Matsuda 5Y3 GT. Plugged it in, tested it out a second ago, just to make sure I wasn't crazy. And as you can see, score 90. So I'm going to try this 5Y3 GT in place of the other and give it another test run. And we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to try this again, and we have the Matsuda 5Y3 GT in place of the other 5Y3 GT, which wasn't working. So we're going to see if we get an output now. Make sure everything's on. Okay, so let's try. Yeah, we're getting some output. There we go. So looks like the input jack's a little sensitive here. Need to fix that. Okay, so it looks like the main issue was that 5Y3 GT. Okay, let's check our other input jacks. Assuming they should be okay, but we'll see. I like the sound of this. So that pod needs to be cleaned out. Let's test one more input here. Cool. So there you have it. Let's see. Oh, it does sound nice from down here. And again, this is the Jensen C10R. So yeah, it is a little, as you can hear, it's a little noisy. I don't know which potentiometer this is yet. I guess it's tone control. So it looks like it's a little noisy when it's on the treble side. So that will be the next step. Yeah, for now. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care as always.